What we have to pay attention to tomorrow is this area right here. If we gap up into this 377 area, be very careful. This is, and again, it's a very, very big area here of supply, and a lot of traders, unfortunately.
Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. So the market continues to build, especially the Qs. Let's talk about the Qs. When I say the market, I'm referencing the Qs. This is the area that interests me. Majority of my trades and setups and all that stuff come within the Nasdaq 100. And again, what was cool about what technical analysis gives you a pretty broad range of what happens next with a very detailed microcosmic approach. And once we kind of reclaimed the 50-day moving average, here was the first close at the 50. Yesterday we reclaimed it, and now we're kind of going through the motions of what happens next. And it does look like we're about to, test this 377, 378 area on the Qs, which again, it's not really a shock. It's stocks trading in channels, and stocks, or in this particular case, the ETF is trading from supply to supply to supply. So everything is good, and the names that broke out over the last couple of days, they continue to build, right? Apple broke out yesterday, confirmed the 50-day moving average today. You got Microsoft broke out yesterday above this 306 level, price improved today. Amazon, that had a really, really aggressive two-day run, kind of rested today, but still is price improving. Obviously, they're getting set up for their quarterly report next week. You got names, for example, like NVIDIA, that continues to be incredibly good. Again, not a big move today, but again, keep this in mind. The breakout for the stock was 213.5, reclaiming the 50-day moving average. Not every single day you're going to get $5, $7, $12 a candle. So now it's just grinding up. I still like it to test this upper Bollinger Band. Looks like around 27 now as well. Square, we talked about last night, first close over $52, right? The 252 area, traded right to the 50-day moving average and right to 257 today. If this thing can reclaim tomorrow, and this is very, very big area, if it could confirm the 50-day moving average tomorrow, look how much room this thing has. Really, really good price action there as well. So really good moves, right? I mean, really good moves, very organic. A lot of names rested today, up 50 cents, up $1. It wasn't like one of those days that, this stock is up 20, that stock is up 20. Like we talked about in the weekend video that happened last Friday and kind of spilled over into yesterday's session. There was really big aggressive moves. Not every single day are you going to find names that are reclaiming a major level, in this case, the 50-day moving average, and having expanded volume, but it's still very, very tradable. We'll get to the pivots in a second. And most important is we're very, very conscious of what happens next. What we have to pay attention to tomorrow is this area right here. If we gap up into this 377 area, be very careful. This is, and again, it's a very, very big area here of supply. And a lot of traders, unfortunately, when they see the futures up in the market and they realize, well, the market's really, really good, and they start buying stocks, that sometimes they don't realize that the major ETF that a lot of these stocks track is hitting supply. So be conscious of that 377 level. In a perfect world, obviously, we open up flat or down a little bit and start grinding back into the 77, 78 supply. But just be conscious of this 378 level. If we gap up into 378, the last thing you want to do is get long as we're about to get rejected. So be very, very conscious. Also for tomorrow, again, like I said, try to avoid the overextended names. The overextended names that have had really big runs for the last 2, 3, 4 days, those are the names you continue on to buy in rising 60-minute support. You don't want to chase them into strength because, again, they're far away. Some of them are 3, 5, 7, 10, 12% away from their breakout price. And then the higher it goes above their breakout price, those are the first names that start to pull in. And those are the first rug pulls. And the stock is still good because it's way above its breakout level. So only concentrate on the names that are coming off the bottom of the channels. And when you notice today, and we'll get to the pivots in a second, when you notice about today's pivots, the stocks that were very, very strong came off the bottom, right? That's the main K here. We try to stay away from the stocks that had really, really big moves, especially into strength. And we continue to focus on those names, especially we know there's only about a couple of bucks left before the bulls have to prove themselves again. So the last thing we want to do is try to buy anything that's overextended 4, 5, 7, 8 days in a row and try to squeeze out the last bit of juice out of them. And that's the only reason why I said yesterday about Tesla that there was no value for me in Tesla on strength, right? The stock was a monster, folks. It's a runaway train. The stock is up 100 points since September the 8th. I love Tesla. There's nothing you can tell me that's going to make me change my opinion about Tesla as a company. I love the stock, right? Like I said last night, gun to my head, you know, with all these call buyers coming in, $1 million, $2 million, multi-million-dollar bets ahead of their earnings. Some guy today, we were watching on the order flow, some guy today bet $800,000 on the 900 calls, 1 day rental, right? So the institutional money flow is coming in. The only thing I talked about yesterday in Tesla, and this is where a lot of you guys are so emotionally engulfed with every single thing that happens in the market. Tesla had a 100-point run. We caught a majority of that move. This is one of the greatest stock, not one. This is the greatest stock in my career. So there's nothing that somebody's going to tell me how good or bad the stock is. But again, at some point in your life, you have to turn around and say, look, the stock is up 100 points. The value, right? We talked about the value, not where the stock is going to go now, not where the stock is going to go 3 years from now. The value after a 100-point move from September the 8th is on dips, right? It's absolutely on dips. So the street is waiting for Tesla to come out with earnings today. It rested today after a well-deserved run. Again, big time order flow coming in, especially for the 900 calls that expire on Friday. You know, obviously everybody is highly expecting or anticipating the earnings of Tesla for tomorrow. We'll see, right? We'll see. Again, you could have phenomenal earnings, but if the stock has run up too much too fast, it could be priced into the stock. And again, we don't know what happens. That's the thing about earnings. You could have the earnings report looking at you right in the face. You could place a bet in that direction and the market could completely take the stock the other way. We don't know. Again, here's a case in point. Netflix came out with a pretty good damn quarter, right? It had a really good quarter. Subscribers growth was up. They had ridiculous amounts of catalysts. We talked about this last night. We had Seinfeld. We had, what's that show that everybody's dying of? I keep on Squidworm, whatever it is, Squid Game, right? Squid Game, that was, you know, phenomenal quarter. And again, the stock is only down 1%, right? It's down nothing. It's only down $7. The stock is up 100 points in the last 3 months. Again, this has nothing to do with where Netflix is going or how good or bad the company is. Sometimes stocks are just tired. So that's the only thing that we're talking about for Tesla. We'll see what happens tomorrow, right? We'll absolutely see. But for all you guys who are brand new traders and they're so damn emotional, you don't understand, Dan, it's going high. Yeah, okay, I know that, right? It went high. That's the whole point. When the stock broke out at 765, 792, 805, 807, right? Yeah, it went higher. That's the whole point. We don't know, you know, we're not living life on past performances. Our major concern is what happens next. And we don't know. When it comes to earnings, all bets are off. Institutional money flow is saying, hey, the market is anticipating Tesla to go to 900. Again, can you be so sure? You can guess, you can hope, you can pray. But again, at the end of the day, flip of a coin. So going into tomorrow, again, look, I'm still, you know, very, you know, I'm still bullish on the market. Again, am I naive to think we can't reverse and have a red day tomorrow? Of course we can. We had a really big 3-day move, 2 days above the 50-day moving average. Is it possible to have a short-term blow off top at 377, 378 for a couple of days? Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I'm definitely conscious of that. So I'm not going in and saying guns blazing all in on everything. So I'm still concentrating on the names that are coming off the bottom. I still want to make sure that anything that we are playing for tomorrow or even in now are not stretched. They're coming in and starting to confirm really, really good short-term intermediate levels coming off a bottom. So let's talk about today's pivots, right? Some decent moves, not a lot of great moves, but some pretty good, decent moves. DDOG, again, not a big move at all. There was a supply zone there. We talked about that in the webinar at 60.5. Only went up like 40 cents. Lululemon was way too thin, right? Way too thin. 418 went to 421. It looked good on paper. There's no way you could have commanded this stock. Netflix, never give you an entry, really good entry on a build off 640. And again, a little bit of profit taking off the recent move after hours. Marvell still looks really good. 67.80, 68 needs to build. It confirmed macro, which is good. So I still like it for tomorrow. This is the highest closed in the whole formation, and if it confirms today's highs, you should, if the market is strong, you could get a move to 69.70. Again, nice move there on that. Crocs, again, not a big move at all. It went up like 70, 80 cents. Again, another thin end. A lot of these stocks trade incredibly thin. Zoom, again, here's a perfect example of a stock coming off the bottom. Again, not off the top, coming off the bottom. 275 needs to build for experienced traders. Only tends to trade a little thin. Again, not every single stock is for everybody. Here was Zoom, right? Here was Zoom. It took out the 275. It traded perfectly. A little less than supply, but put up a $7 move, $7 move into supply. Not every single thing needs to be this majestic move. Workday looks great. Nice move, closed right at 52-week highs. 273.75, 274 needs to build, right? Here's Workday, really nice move, traded right to the 50-day, right to the supply zone. If it could just take out, right? If it could just take out this whole channel tomorrow, man, you can have the next leg up. Next leg macro up. So nice move on Workday if you're still holding a good job. For all you guys who've been swinging NVIDIA from that 213.50, 224 area, again, stopped right at supply here at 274. I still think the stock, if it confirms tomorrow, I still think the stock sees 25 and a half, 27 potential next push, but really nice move there so far. PENN National Gaming, 80 needs to build. I like PENN still for tomorrow. Nice little pop there today. Here was PENN. It took out this whole channel here of 80, stopped right at the 150-day moving average in supply. If it takes out the supply tomorrow, you could get your next leg up. Nice move there. Tesla for experienced traders on the bounce. It bounced up like, it bounced up 3-4 points before it rolled over. But again, it didn't really make a difference. Tomorrow is going to be the key for this thing as well. Take on the way up, 280, 281 is supply. Traded up to 280. PENN taking the way up. Qualcomm, nice move. Qualcomm, 130.75, 131. Again, not every trade, guys, needs to be, not every single trade needs to be a $12 hammer. We talked about Qualcomm last night in the video. Took out this 131, pretty much closed at the highs. I still think this thing starts reclaiming 33, should get to 35. Nice move for all you guys who are still swinging. Qualcomm looks good, looks higher for tomorrow. Square, beautiful move on Square, stopped right at supply. That 252 was the green light. I said there's a shot it gets to 256.5, 257. Look at the high of the day, right? Look at the high of the day today on Square, 256.97. This thing confirms tomorrow, guys. 257, and I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of room in this thing ahead of earnings, so definitely keep an eye on Square, but nice move there on Square, and that's it. So I think going into tomorrow, let me give you guys a couple of plays that look interesting. I still like that Marvell. I still love Square. In case you didn't realize, I love Square if it confirms. Really like Square. Look at Merck, right? Look at Merck here. Again, one of the things I always talk about is the 10-day, which is the birth of the trade. Merck had this really big move on the chewable, I think it was the chewable COVID thing, right? Came all the way back down, closed right at the 10-day moving average. Again, if you've been watching this video for a long time, you know that the 10-day moving average is the birth of the trade. So if Merck confirms this whole channel, it'll break this whole downtrend for tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. I kind of like this fuel cell. I know it's not really a name that I usually would play around with, but this thing has really good volume. Traded 130 million shares today. It stopped twice at supply. You can see why it's important to take out supply, right? Stock hits supply, it needs to take it out. Keep an eye on fuel cell, guys, for the next couple of days. If this thing starts taking out the top of this channel, it could ignite. Really, really strong looking chart as well. And one more, let me give you guys one more. I like this Bros recent IPO. Took out the all-time high today, or recent highs. Stock's been trading for 15 minutes. But keep an eye on this thing, either a dip into rising 60-minute support or a build above today's channels. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.